Hi, I am Nicholas's mom, and I'm going to be answering some questions for English about the pandemic. So, the first question, what is daily life like for me? Well, I'm a teacher, so life has changed quite a bit. I had to spend our entire spring doing virtual instruction, which was really hard and did not work out so great. I teach second grade, so it was really hard to get the kids engaged and feel like I was meeting their needs. And this fall, we were hybrid, so I taught half the class for half the day and then the other half of the day. And we have only gone back all in the last couple of weeks, but it's also very different. Everyone's in masks, as you know, with shields up at their desks. There can't be any partner work really. So my life as a teacher has pretty much been turned on its ear. In terms of my personal life, we don't go out to eat. We haven't been out to eat at all since the pandemic hit. But we do see friends in the neighborhood. So we have our little germ pod in our neighborhood with 4 families, including ours, that we get together with, mostly outside. But our kids, we all have younger children the same age, and they do play daily, and they go in each other's houses, and they don't wear masks. For them, life has pretty much remained the same, but camps were canceled this summer and so forth. But they're faring pretty well in this pandemic. I do see the mom friends I have, but mostly it's outside and usually still with masks on. We went skiing this weekend and everybody wore a mask in the house where we stayed, so we're being pretty careful. I'm very much looking forward to things getting back to normal. So, what's difficult for me right now has been not being able to see my friends regularly and like we normally would. So, giving them a hug when I see them, having dinners together, going out to eat with them, doing all of the normal social activities over the holidays that we would have. I have an elderly aunt who lives in Buffalo, and I have not seen her since last January. I'm trying to manage all of her finances long distance, which is really hard since I cannot get into her nursing home to visit. So that is very, very challenging. This fall and last spring were challenging because Nicholas was trying to look at schools, and we weren't able to go on any campus visits. And then when we did this fall, the only campus that we could actually get a tour on was Cincinnati. And so trying to navigate the college experience and application process without being able to really see the campuses and get inside the dorms and so forth was also pretty hard. I think that's it. So I think the biggest good that has come from quarantine, for me, but I think for most people, has been just finding the good in the little things in life. So appreciating your family, appreciating the small things you have, like at the start of the pandemic, having Clorox wipes at my disposal because I was a teacher and could take them from school, and having all of the cleaning supplies that we needed handy where people were scrambling to just find anything, any little things that normally we would have at our disposal at any time. Enjoying our families and spending time together has really been nice, and having uninterrupted time, and not, life had slowed down so much, especially in the spring and summer, that we really could focus on playing some games and enjoying each other. And now that things are getting a little bit back to normal, I feel like that's getting lost again, that we're kind of on this treadmill of busyness, and I miss a little bit the slower pace that the pandemic brought, because there wasn't anywhere to go and there weren't a whole lot of options for things to do. So you just enjoyed being at home. So I think the best thing that's come out of the pandemic is finding all the good in the little parts of daily life that before, when you're so busy, you just overlook and don't pay any attention to them. So in terms of how the future will change because of the pandemic, first of all, I think that with the use of technology, there's been a lot of light shed on iniquities, especially with technology and lower socioeconomic groups. So I'm hoping that this will forever change the landscape of education, not only in terms of getting kids everything they need to be successful in the classroom, but also helping us to use technology to provide lessons and activities for kids who can't come to school, but now can still fully participate or almost fully participate in classroom goings on, even if they're home. I hope that the pandemic will help the world become a more cohesive unit in terms of finding solutions to problems. I think that we've done that a little bit with looking for vaccines and doing that readily. But I also think that we have a long way to go. But I think this was an instance where the world had the opportunity to really work together, to come together for the common good of everybody on this earth, to find a vaccine so that everybody can be vaccinated and move on and be healthy. I also hope that the pandemic will help everybody slow down a little bit and remember what life was like when we slowed down, and remember the beauty of these tiny moments, like people singing from their balconies in Italy during quarantine and during lockdown, because they weren't even allowed to leave their apartment, and yet they found a way to bring happiness and joy to their neighbors. And little moments like that, I'm hoping will resonate and will make the global population a little more humane and a little more kind and a little more willing to help each other out.
For me, daily life has been different. I work like almost every day at Giant Eagle, and then I get home, do my homework. So I guess it's not been too different from normal, but it's still just difficult wearing masks every day, and working while wearing a mask is not fun, and gets really tiring after a while. For me, it's been difficult, obviously wearing masks all the time, and seeing friends is a lot harder. Uh, just doing the things that you would normally do on your weekends with your friends or your family. Being stuck with my family a lot was difficult because we argue a lot, and it's very loud, and there's not a lot of room for me to go and hide. So that was difficult. Getting my work done while we were online was also difficult because I tended to just not do it sometimes. Some of the good that I think came from quarantine is that we as a species are now much more focused on health and like being safe. People are practicing hand washing more, just being safer in general, being much cleaner. Another thing that's good that came from quarantine would be, as much as my family annoys me, it was nice to spend quality time with them that I wouldn't have gotten if we weren't in this pandemic. I hope that in the future people will be more concerned with health and cleanliness, and I hope that this will help us prepare should we have another global pandemic, that we'll be better prepared for something like this to happen, because we were really unprepared this time and it cost us a lot. If we had been prepared, we could have had it stopped or contained much sooner than we did. I think that as like a nation, we can be a lot closer. This is something that can like unite us for like one good cause to get rid of this pandemic. So I think that's a good way to look at it.